My beloved child, before you continue listening, I need you to slow down for a moment. Do not rush through these words. Do not treat this as just another message, because what I am about to reveal may explain something that has been happening in your life for much longer than you realize. You have been asking questions you rarely speak aloud. Why does progress sometimes feel so close, yet remain just beyond your reach? Why do certain struggles keep repeating themselves? Why do seasons that should have ended seem to linger longer than expected? And why, despite your prayers, despite your efforts, despite your desire to move forward, do you sometimes feel as if something unseen is quietly holding you back? My child, listen carefully. The answer may not be where you have been looking. Many people spend their lives searching for large explanations. They search for major mistakes, great failures, huge moments of rebellion, dramatic turning points. But what if the thing affecting your life right now is not something large at all? What if it is something small, something so small that you barely notice it, something that seems harmless, something that enters quietly, without noise, without warning, without resistance? My beloved, darkness rarely announces itself. It rarely arrives with loud footsteps. It rarely declares its intentions. Most of the time, it enters through what appears insignificant: a thought left unchecked, a wound left unhealed, a distraction allowed to grow, a moment of hesitation when you already knew what you should do, a voice you continued listening to even after you sensed it was pulling you away from peace. Small things, very small things, yet small things possess extraordinary power. A tiny crack in a foundation can eventually threaten an entire building. A single spark can ignite an entire forest. A slight shift in direction can place a traveler miles away from the destination they intended to reach. Do you see, my child? The enemy understands this principle. That is why he often avoids obvious attacks. Instead, he looks for openings, tiny openings, moments when your attention drifts, moments when your heart grows tired, moments when your guard lowers just enough for confusion to enter. And what troubles many souls is not what enters. It is that they never realize it entered at all. That is why I am speaking to you now, because I love you too much to remain silent. I see what others cannot see. I see what even you have not fully recognized. I see the places where your heart has become weary. I see the disappointments you tried to hide. I see the silent frustrations, the questions, the doubts, the exhaustion, the moments when you smiled for others while carrying heaviness within yourself. Yes, my beloved, I saw every one of them. I was there during the nights when no one knew how much pressure you were carrying. I was there during the moments when you wondered whether anyone truly understood. I was there when you felt overlooked, misunderstood, forgotten. And even then, I never left your side. Not for a single moment, but listen carefully now, because this next truth is important. The greatest danger to your future is not always what stands against you. Sometimes it is what slowly drains you. There are people who watch for enemies but ignore exhaustion. People who watch for attacks but ignore compromise. People who watch for storms but ignore leaks. Yet a leak can sink a ship just as surely as a storm. My beloved child, what if there has been a leak? What if something precious has been slowly escaping from your life? Not your possessions, not your achievements. Something far more valuable: your peace, your focus, your confidence, your spiritual strength, your ability to hear my voice clearly. What if the reason you feel different lately is because something has been quietly draining the flame I placed within you? As it is written, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Proverbs 4:23. Notice what the scripture does not say. It does not say guard your success. It does not say guard your reputation. It does not say guard your possessions. It says guard your heart, because everything flows from there. Your decisions, your relationships, your future, your purpose, everything. And yet so many people protect everything except the one thing that matters most. My beloved, I am not speaking these words to condemn you. I am speaking because I want to awaken you. Because something beautiful is still alive inside you. Something precious remains. The flame is still there, even if you cannot see it clearly. Even if life has covered it with ashes. Even if disappointment has tried to bury it. Even if fear has attempted to silence it. The flame remains. I know there were moments when you questioned whether you still had the strength to continue. Moments when your passion seemed smaller than before. Moments when your faith felt weaker. Moments when you wondered if you had somehow lost what you once carried. But hear me clearly. You have not lost what I placed within you. You may have neglected it. You may have become distracted. You may have become exhausted, but you have not lost it. Because what I place inside my children is not easily destroyed. It can become hidden. It can become neglected. It can become surrounded by ashes, but it remains. And this is where many people misunderstand what is happening. They assume the fire is gone, so they stop tending it. They stop protecting it. They stop believing it can burn brightly again. But they are wrong, very wrong, because the story is not over. In fact, what you think is ending may actually be the beginning of something greater. Something is happening beneath the surface. Something you cannot yet fully see. Something I have been preparing during this entire season. You have focused on what appeared to be dying, but I have been watching what was surviving. You have focused on what was leaving, but I have been protecting what remained. You have focused on what felt weak, but I have been strengthening something deeper, and soon, very soon, you will begin to understand why this season unfolded the way it did. But before that revelation can come, there is something you must first recognize. Because there is one hidden leak, one subtle opening, one unnoticed habit that continues to affect more people than they realize. And until you see it clearly, you will not fully understand why the flame sometimes grows dim. My beloved child, stay with me. Do not skip ahead. Do not become distracted. Because in the next part, I will reveal the hidden leak that quietly steals spiritual strength from countless people without them ever realizing it. And once you see it, you will never view your life the same way again. My beloved child, now let me show you what many never recognize until years have already passed. The hidden leak, the silent drain, the thing that weakens the flame without making a sound. You may think it is fear. You may think it is failure. You may think it is opposition, but often it is none of these. The leak begins much earlier, much smaller, much quieter. And because it is quiet, most people never notice it. Listen carefully. A lamp does not suddenly go dark. A tree does not suddenly die. A river does not suddenly dry up. The process begins long before the outcome becomes visible. Little by little, day by day, moment by moment. And the same is true within your soul. My child, there have been seasons when you asked why you felt different, why your joy seemed weaker, why your peace disappeared so quickly, why your confidence no longer felt as strong as before. You searched for large explanations. You wondered if something dramatic had happened. Yet the answer was often hidden in ordinary moments. Moments you considered too small to matter. A prayer postponed, a prompting ignored, a wound left untreated, a compromise excused, a distraction welcomed, a truth delayed. One moment rarely changes everything, but repeated moments always do. That is how the leak begins, not through one decision, but through a pattern, a slow drift, a gradual movement away from the source of life. My beloved, do you remember when your connection with me felt stronger? Do you remember when hearing my voice felt easier? Do you remember when your faith seemed more alive? Those seasons were not necessarily easier. Many of them were actually more difficult. Yet something was different. You remained close. You listened more carefully. You responded more quickly. You guarded your heart more intentionally. And because of that, the flame burned brightly. But then life became busy. Responsibilities increased. Disappointments accumulated. Unexpected burdens arrived. And little by little, your attention became divided. Not all at once, not dramatically, just enough. Just enough for the leak to begin. My child, one of the greatest dangers is not rebellion. It is neglect. Neglect feels harmless. It feels temporary. It feels understandable. But what is neglected eventually weakens. Relationships weaken when neglected. Health weakens when neglected. Dreams weaken when neglected. And spiritual strength weakens when neglected. That is why the scripture says, do not quench the spirit. 1 Thessalonians 5:19. Notice those words carefully. Do not quench. The verse does not say destroy. It does not say remove. It does not say eliminate. It says quench, because the flame is still there. The danger is not that it disappears. The danger is that it becomes covered, suppressed, ignored, starved, my beloved child. Many people spend years blaming darkness when the real problem is that they stopped feeding the light. Think about that. Darkness has no power of its own. Darkness only exists where light is absent. The solution is not always to fight the darkness. Sometimes the solution is simply to strengthen the flame. And this is what I desire to teach you. Because I am not showing you the leak to shame you. I am showing it to you so you can repair it. There is still time. There is still hope. There is still life within you. You have not gone too far. You have not failed beyond recovery. You have not lost your purpose. You have not lost my calling. You have not lost my love. You are simply being invited back to watchfulness, back to awareness, back to the place where the flame can breathe again. My beloved, there is another truth many never understand. The leak often accelerates during seasons of weariness, not because you stop loving me, not because you stop believing, but because exhaustion changes your focus. When people become tired, they stop protecting what matters. They lower their guard. They delay important things. They choose convenience over conviction. And that is exactly when the leak grows larger. I know you have been tired. I know there were days when simply getting through the day felt like a victory. I know there were moments when your heart felt heavy. Moments when disappointment lingered longer than expected. Moments when you silently wondered if your efforts were making any difference. I saw all of it, every struggle, every hidden battle, every tear, every unanswered question. And my child, I was never angry with you for being tired. Never, because I understand human weakness. I understand burdens. I understand pain. But what concerns me is when weariness becomes distance, when exhaustion becomes isolation, when disappointment becomes surrender. That is when the leak becomes dangerous, because weariness was never meant to separate you from me. It was meant to draw you closer. The very moment you feel weakest should become the moment you lean on me the most. Yet many do the opposite. They withdraw, they isolate, they become silent. And then they wonder why the flame grows dim. My beloved child, listen closely. The enemy cannot create life. He cannot create purpose. He cannot create destiny. He cannot create the flame I placed inside you, but he will try to distract you from tending it. He will try to convince you that small things do not matter. He will try to persuade you that one delay is harmless. One compromise is insignificant. One distraction is acceptable. One ignored prompting is nothing. But every great collapse begins with small neglect, and every great restoration begins with small obedience. This is why I am speaking to you now, not because your story is ending, but because restoration is beginning. Even now, while you are listening, even now, while these words enter your heart, something is awakening. Something is being repaired. Something is being restored. You may not fully feel it yet, but the process has already started. The leak is being exposed. The deception is being uncovered. The fog is beginning to lift. And once you see clearly, everything changes, my beloved. There is a reason I allowed you to hear this message today. A reason these words found you. A reason your attention was drawn here. Because the season ahead requires a stronger flame. The next chapter of your life requires greater awareness. The future I am leading you toward requires deeper trust. And before I increase the fire, I must first reveal the leak. Before I expand your influence, I must strengthen your foundation. Before I open new doors, I must prepare your heart. That preparation has already begun. But what I am about to reveal next may surprise you, because the moment you thought proved your weakness was actually revealing your strength. The season you believed was evidence of failure was actually a test that many never understand until much later. Stay with me, my beloved, because in the next part, I will show you why your weakest moments were never proof that I abandoned you. In fact, those moments may have revealed more about your faith than your strongest days ever could. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand about the season you have been walking through. Something many people never realize until years later. Something that changes the way they view every struggle they have ever faced. Listen carefully. The moment you felt weakest was not necessarily the moment you were failing. In many cases, it was the moment you were being tested. Not tested to see whether you were perfect. Not tested to see whether you could carry everything by yourself. Not tested to see whether you would never struggle, but tested to reveal where your trust truly rested. My beloved, anyone can feel confident when everything is going well. Anyone can believe when answers arrive quickly. Anyone can worship when the path is clear. Anyone can speak about faith when there are no storms. But true faith reveals itself differently. True faith is not exposed during abundance. It is exposed during uncertainty, not during comfort, but during waiting, not during strength, but during weakness. That is why many of the moments you considered failures were actually revealing something beautiful, something precious, something eternal. Because while you were focused on what you lacked, I was watching what remained. While you were focused on your weakness, I was watching your response. While you were focused on your exhaustion, I was watching your heart. And my child, you continued moving forward, perhaps slowly, perhaps imperfectly, perhaps with tears in your eyes, but you continued. Do you understand how significant that is? Many people think faith means never doubting, never struggling, never questioning. But that is not what faith is. Faith is continuing to walk when answers have not yet arrived. Faith is continuing to trust when circumstances seem unclear. Faith is choosing not to quit when every emotion tells you to stop. And there were moments when you wanted to stop. Moments when discouragement whispered into your mind. Moments when disappointment felt overwhelming. Moments when you wondered whether your prayers were making any difference at all. I saw every one of those moments. I saw the nights you lay awake. I saw the burdens you carried silently. I saw the fears you never shared with anyone. I saw the questions hidden behind your smile, and I was closer than you realized, much closer. Because, my child, weakness has a way of creating an illusion. It convinces you that I am distant. It convinces you that I have forgotten. It convinces you that your struggles mean I have abandoned you. But that has never been true, not once. In fact, many times when you felt most alone, I was working most closely. Many times when you felt most abandoned, I was standing nearest. Many times when you thought nothing was happening, the deepest work was taking place beneath the surface. That is why I tell you now, do not judge your season by your emotions. Emotions change, circumstances change, feelings rise and fall like waves. But my presence remains constant, my love remains constant. My purpose remains constant, and my plans for your life remain constant. Even when you cannot see them, my beloved, remember what is written. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew 26:41. Notice what I said to my disciples. I did not say they were evil. I did not say they lacked love. I did not say they lacked desire. I acknowledged something important. The spirit was willing, but the flesh was weak. The weakness was real, yet the weakness did not disqualify them. The weakness simply revealed their need for me, and the same is true for you. Your weakness does not disqualify you. Your struggle does not disqualify you. Your exhaustion does not disqualify you. Your questions do not disqualify you. Your difficult season does not disqualify you, my beloved child. Too many people spend years condemning themselves for being human. They believe that if they were truly faithful, they would never feel afraid, never feel tired, never feel discouraged, never feel overwhelmed. But even those I called greatly experienced such moments. David experienced them. Elijah experienced them. Moses experienced them. Peter experienced them. And yet I still used them powerfully because I have never searched for perfect people. I have always searched for willing hearts, hearts that continue returning, hearts that continue listening, hearts that continue trusting, even when they feel weak. And perhaps that is what you need to hear right now. Because recently, you have been measuring yourself by your strength. You have been evaluating your faith by your emotions. You have been judging your future by your current circumstances. But I want you to see yourself differently. I want you to see yourself through my eyes. I see someone who kept going, someone who survived storms they never thought they could survive. Someone who endured seasons that should have broken them. Someone who continued carrying hope even when hope felt fragile. Someone who continued searching for me even when they could not clearly hear my voice. And my child, that matters more than you know, because hidden inside those difficult moments was a test few recognized, not a test of performance. A test of persistence, not a test of perfection. A test of surrender, not a test of strength, a test of dependence. Every time you chose to keep moving forward, the test revealed something. Every time you prayed despite discouragement, the test revealed something. Every time you trusted despite uncertainty, the test revealed something. The test revealed that the flame was still alive. It revealed that your heart still belonged to me. It revealed that your spirit had not surrendered, even when your emotions wanted to. And that is why the enemy fought so hard to convince you that your weakness was proof of failure, because he understood something you did not. He understood that your weakness was becoming a doorway to deeper trust, a doorway to greater dependence, a doorway to stronger faith, a doorway to transformation. My beloved, there is another truth you must understand. Some of the greatest spiritual growth happens in seasons that feel completely unproductive. Think about a seed buried beneath the soil. From the outside, nothing appears to be happening. No visible growth, no visible movement, no visible progress. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming. Foundations are developing, life is expanding, preparation is taking place. And that is exactly what has been happening within you. You have been judging yourself by what you can see. I have been working where you cannot see. You have been watching the surface. I have been strengthening the roots. You have been asking why things are taking so long. I have been preparing you for what comes next. And my child, what comes next requires stronger roots, because the blessings ahead will be greater than the burdens behind. The responsibilities ahead will be greater than the struggles behind. The opportunities ahead will be greater than the obstacles behind. That is why preparation was necessary. That is why the season lasted longer than you expected. That is why the test mattered. But here is the part many people never understand. The season of weakness was never meant to become your permanent home. It was only preparation, a classroom, a refining process, a place where deeper faith could be formed. And soon, very soon, you will begin to understand why I allowed certain things to remain, why I allowed certain fires to burn lower, why I allowed certain answers to take longer. Because there is something hidden beneath the ashes that you have not yet fully seen. Something still glowing, something still alive, something waiting for the right moment to rise again. Stay with me, my beloved, because in the next part I will reveal why the fire never truly went out, and why what looked like dying may actually be the beginning of restoration. My beloved child, there is a reason I did not allow the fire to disappear completely. A reason I preserved something within you even when everything around you seemed to be changing. A reason the flame never fully went out. And until you understand this truth, you may continue misinterpreting what has been happening in your life. Listen carefully. Many people assume that if something no longer burns brightly, it must be dead. If passion fades, they assume purpose is gone. If emotions weaken, they assume faith has disappeared. If answers delay, they assume heaven has become silent. But my child, that is not how I work. What appears weak is not always dying. What appears hidden is not always gone. What appears quiet is not always inactive. In fact, some of my greatest works happen in silence, beneath the surface, beyond what human eyes can see. Do you remember winter, when trees appear lifeless? When branches stand bare, when growth seems absent, when the landscape looks empty and cold. Many people look at a winter tree and assume nothing is happening. Yet beneath the ground, life remains. The roots continue their work. The foundation continues strengthening. Preparation continues unseen. And when the appointed season arrives, growth suddenly appears. Not because life returned, but because life never left. My beloved, the same has been true in your life. You have judged yourself by outward appearances. You have looked at what felt lost, what felt delayed, what felt weaker than before, and you assumed the fire was disappearing. But I tell you now, the fire never left. The flame remained, the embers remained, the purpose remained, the calling remained. My presence remained, even when you could not feel it, even when you questioned it, even when your emotions suggested otherwise. As it is written, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Notice those words carefully. The darkness did not overcome the light. The darkness surrounded it. The darkness challenged it. The darkness attempted to hide it, but it never conquered it. And neither has darkness conquered what I placed within you, my child. There were moments when you thought you had become less than who you once were. Moments when you compared yourself to earlier seasons. Moments when you remembered a stronger version of yourself. A more confident version. A more hopeful version. A more energetic version. And you quietly wondered what happened. But what if I told you that the person you are becoming is stronger than the person you were? What if I told you that what feels like loss is actually refinement? What if I told you that some things had to burn away so that deeper things could remain? Because not everything that leaves your life is a tragedy. Sometimes it is preparation, sometimes it is pruning, sometimes it is protection, and sometimes it is the removal of things that could not accompany you into your next season. My beloved, a fire behaves differently depending on its purpose. There are moments when flames rise high and bright. Moments of visible excitement, visible power, visible movement. But there are also moments when a fire settles into embers, quiet, steady, hidden beneath ash. And yet those embers often contain more lasting heat than the flames themselves. The fire appears smaller, but it has not become weaker. It has become deeper. And that is exactly what I have been doing within you. I have been taking your faith deeper, deeper than emotions, deeper than circumstances, deeper than temporary excitement, because excitement fades. Emotions fluctuate, circumstances change, but deep faith remains. Deep faith survives storms. Deep faith survives waiting. Deep faith survives uncertainty. Deep faith survives silence, my child. You have been learning how to trust me when the flames are not visible, and that lesson is more valuable than you realize. Anyone can trust when miracles are obvious. Anyone can trust when prayers are immediately answered. Anyone can trust when everything makes sense. But learning to trust while tending hidden embers, that produces maturity. that produces endurance, that produces strength. And strength is exactly what you will need for the season ahead. Because what is coming requires more than excitement. It requires stability. The blessings ahead require stability. The opportunities ahead require stability. The influence ahead requires stability. And stability is formed in seasons like this, not during abundance, but during waiting, not during celebration, but during preparation. My beloved child, there is another reason I allowed the embers to remain. Because embers can ignite again. A single ember can start a fire. A single spark can illuminate darkness. A single moment of obedience can alter an entire future. And there are embers within you right now that are waiting for fresh breath. Dreams you thought were gone. Hope you thought had disappeared. Faith you thought had weakened. Purpose you thought had faded. They are still there, waiting, preserved, protected, guarded by my hand. You thought they were finished. I knew they were resting. You thought they had died. I knew they were being prepared. You thought the story was ending. I knew a new chapter was forming. That is why I never allowed the flame to disappear completely. Because I know what I placed inside you. I know what you are capable of becoming. I know what assignments still await you. I know what prayers will yet be answered. I know what doors will yet open. And I know what victories are still ahead. My beloved, the enemy wanted you to interpret the ashes incorrectly. He wanted you to believe the fire was gone. He wanted you to surrender before the season changed. He wanted you to walk away before the breakthrough arrived. Because if he could convince you the fire was dead, you would stop protecting it. If he could convince you hope was pointless, you would stop expecting. If he could convince you the story was over, you would stop listening. But my child, you are still here. You are still listening. You are still seeking. You are still moving forward. And that alone is evidence that the embers remain. Evidence that the fire remains. Evidence that I am not finished with your story. In fact, what you call survival may actually be preparation. What you call delay may actually be development. What you call weakness may actually be refinement. And soon you will begin to see it. Soon you will begin to understand why I preserved what remained. Because there is a lesson hidden inside these embers, a lesson many never learn, a lesson that separates those who endure from those who quit. The lesson is this: what is valuable must be tended, not occasionally, not when convenient, but consistently, because even a preserved ember requires care. Even a protected flame requires attention. Even a calling requires stewardship. And that brings me to the next truth I must teach you. A truth that many misunderstand. A truth that some even fear. Yet it has been one of my greatest gifts from the beginning. It is not punishment. It is not restriction. It is not control. It is protection. My beloved child. In the next part, I will show you why discipline is not the burden you thought it was, and why the very thing many resist may actually be the fence protecting the future I prepared for them. My beloved child, there is a word many people misunderstand, a word that often creates resistance before it even has the chance to reveal its true purpose. That word is discipline. The moment many hear it, they think of restriction, rules, pressure, limitations, loss. They imagine something heavy, something unpleasant, something that steals freedom. And because of that misunderstanding, countless people spend years running from one of the very things that was meant to protect them. But my beloved, what if everything you believed about discipline was incomplete? What if discipline was never intended to imprison you? What if discipline was actually one of the greatest expressions of my love? Listen carefully. Imagine a beautiful garden, filled with life, filled with color, filled with potential. Now imagine that same garden without protection. No fence, no boundaries, no care, no attention, no cultivation. At first, nothing seems wrong. The flowers still bloom. The grass still grows. Everything appears normal, but eventually weeds begin to spread. Animals enter freely. the soil becomes damaged. The beauty begins to fade, not because the garden lacked potential, but because it lacked protection. My child, discipline is the fence around the garden, not the prison, the protection, the preservation, the safeguard. And what I have placed inside you is far too valuable to leave unprotected. Your peace is valuable. Your purpose is valuable. Your calling is valuable. Your relationships are valuable. Your future is valuable. The flame within you is valuable. Why would I not teach you how to protect it? Many people believe freedom means doing whatever they want, following every impulse, following every emotion, following every desire. But that kind of freedom often becomes another form of slavery. Because when every impulse controls you, you are no longer free. You are being led by whatever feeling is strongest in the moment. True freedom is different. True freedom is the ability to choose what is right, even when something easier is available. True freedom is the ability to remain focused when distractions appear. True freedom is the ability to protect what matters most. That is why discipline leads to freedom, not away from it, my beloved. You have seen this principle throughout life. A musician practices discipline so they can create beautiful music. An athlete embraces discipline so they can perform at their highest level. A builder follows discipline so the structure remains strong. A farmer practices discipline so the harvest can come. And yet many expect spiritual strength without spiritual discipline. They desire peace without guarding their thoughts. They desire clarity without seeking wisdom. They desire direction without spending time listening. They desire strong faith while neglecting the very habits that strengthen faith. And then they wonder why the flame struggles to remain bright. My beloved child, the issue is not your desire. I know your desire is real. I know your heart wants to move closer to me. I know you long for peace. I know you long for purpose. I know you long for greater stability. The issue is not desire. The issue is consistency. Because destiny is often shaped by what you repeatedly do, not merely by what you occasionally desire. Think about that. Many lives are changed not by one dramatic decision, but by small choices repeated over time. Small prayers, small acts of obedience, small moments of gratitude, small moments of self-control, small decisions to keep moving forward. These seem insignificant in the moment, yet they quietly shape an entire future. As it is written, "Blessed is the one whose delight is in the law of the Lord. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water." Psalm 1:2-3. Notice the image. A tree, not a flower, not a spark, not a passing season. A tree, something stable, something rooted, something capable of enduring storms. And why is the tree stable? Because its roots remain connected to the source. My child, discipline is how roots remain connected. Discipline is not about earning my love. You already have my love. Discipline is not about proving your worth. Your worth was established long ago. Discipline is about remaining connected to what gives life. It is about staying near the source. Because when roots remain connected, growth becomes inevitable. There may still be storms. There may still be droughts. There may still be difficult seasons. But the roots continue drawing life from beneath the surface. And that is exactly what I desire for you. Not temporary excitement. Not emotional highs that disappear after a few days. Not motivation that fades when circumstances become difficult. I desire something deeper, something stronger, something lasting. I desire roots. My beloved, there is another misunderstanding I must correct. Many people assume discipline means perfection. But discipline has never been about perfection. Discipline is about returning when distracted, returning when discouraged, returning when tired, returning when you stumble, returning when you lose focus, because every person occasionally drifts. Every person occasionally struggles. Every person occasionally grows weary. The difference is not whether you drift. The difference is whether you return. That is what discipline truly is, not flawless performance, faithful returning. And perhaps this is why I brought you to this message today. Because recently, you have been harder on yourself than I have been. You have focused on where you fell short. I have focused on the fact that you are still here. You have focused on what remains unfinished. I have focused on what is still growing. You have focused on temporary weakness. I have focused on long-term transformation. And transformation takes time. Roots take time. Maturity takes time. Character takes time. My beloved child, do not become discouraged because growth feels slow. Do not become discouraged because change feels gradual. The strongest trees grow slowly. The deepest roots develop quietly. The greatest transformations often happen where nobody can see them, including you, even now while you are listening. Even now, while these words settle into your heart, something is changing. Your perspective is changing. Your awareness is changing. Your understanding is changing. The fence is being rebuilt. The garden is being protected. The roots are growing deeper, and soon you will begin to see the fruit. But before the fruit appears, there is something else I must reveal. Something many people overlook. Something that often disguises itself as freedom while quietly stealing destiny. A subtle trap, a dangerous illusion, an invitation that seems harmless at first. Yet it has delayed countless people from walking fully into the future prepared for them. Stay with me, my beloved, because in the next part, I will reveal the trap that looks like freedom. And once you recognize it, you will understand why some distractions carry a far greater cost than they first appear. My beloved child, there is a trap that has delayed many destinies. A trap so subtle that most people never recognize it until years have passed. A trap that rarely announces itself as danger. In fact, it often arrives wearing the appearance of freedom. It presents itself as harmless, reasonable, comfortable, deserved. And because it feels so natural, many people welcome it without hesitation. Yet, little by little, it begins stealing something precious. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gradually, quietly, patiently. My beloved, the enemy rarely succeeds by convincing people to abandon their purpose overnight. That would be too obvious. Instead, he offers distractions. Small distractions, comfortable distractions, pleasant distractions. Distractions that seem insignificant in the moment. One unnecessary delay, one ignored prompting, one compromise, one excuse, one decision to wait until tomorrow, and then another, and another, and another, until what was once a small distraction becomes a pattern, and what was once a pattern becomes a lifestyle, and what was once a lifestyle becomes a destiny. Do you see? Destiny is rarely lost in a single moment. It is usually surrendered one distraction at a time. My beloved child, one of the greatest lies in this generation is the belief that freedom means never denying yourself anything. People are taught to follow every feeling, every impulse, every craving, every desire. If something feels good, they pursue it. If something feels difficult, they avoid it. If something requires sacrifice, they postpone it. If something demands discipline, they question it. And yet they wonder why peace remains elusive, why fulfillment remains temporary, why purpose feels distant. The answer is simple. Not everything that feels good is good for you. Not everything that feels comfortable is helping you. Not everything that is available deserves your attention. My child, every day you are making choices, not only large choices, small choices, and those small choices are shaping your future. You are becoming what you repeatedly choose, the books you read, the voices you listen to, the thoughts you entertain, the habits you tolerate, the environments you remain in, the people you allow to influence you. None of these are neutral. They are all leading somewhere. That is why discernment matters. Because what enters your life eventually begins shaping your life. As it is written, I have the right to do anything, but not everything is beneficial. 1 Corinthians 10:23. Listen carefully to those words. Not everything is beneficial. Not everything is helpful. Not everything is necessary. Not everything deserves a place in your heart. My beloved, many people ask whether something is allowed. Few ask whether it is beneficial. Few ask whether it is strengthening the flame. Few ask whether it is moving them closer to their purpose. Few ask whether it is helping them become who I created them to be. And that question changes everything. Because some things are not evil, they are simply unnecessary. Yet unnecessary things often consume the time, energy, and attention that should have been invested elsewhere. Think about that. A garden is not destroyed only by weeds. Sometimes it is overcrowded by things that should never have been planted there in the first place. The same can happen within your soul. You become busy with distractions, busy with noise, busy with things that seem urgent but are not important, busy with things that entertain but do not strengthen, busy with things that occupy your mind but never nourish your spirit. And slowly the flame receives less attention, the roots receive less nourishment, the purpose receives less focus. My beloved child, I want to ask you something. What has been occupying your attention lately? What thoughts have been consuming your mind? What habits have been consuming your time? What distractions have been receiving energy that belongs elsewhere? Do not answer quickly. Pause, reflect, listen. Because sometimes the answer is not obvious. Sometimes the greatest distractions are the ones that have become normal. The things you no longer question, the things you have accepted as part of daily life. Yet those very things may be stealing more from you than you realize. My child, I am not calling you into fear. I am calling you into awareness. Because awareness creates freedom. You cannot change what you refuse to recognize. You cannot protect what you refuse to value. And you cannot strengthen what you continually neglect. This is why I am speaking to you now, because there is more within you than what you are currently experiencing. There is greater peace, greater clarity, greater strength, greater purpose, greater influence. But reaching those things requires letting go of what hinders them. And sometimes what hinders them is not sin. Sometimes it is simply distraction, the wrong focus, the wrong priorities, the wrong habits, the wrong rhythms. My beloved, many people spend years praying for breakthrough while continuing to feed the distractions that delay it. They pray for peace while consuming anxiety. They pray for clarity while surrounding themselves with confusion. They pray for purpose while investing their attention in things that weaken purpose. Then they wonder why change feels slow. But my child, everything grows where attention goes. Whatever you continually feed becomes stronger. Feed fear and fear grows. Feed doubt and doubt grows. Feed distraction and distraction grows. Feed the flame and the flame grows. The choice is always shaping something, even now, even today, even in this moment. That is why the trap is so dangerous. Because it does not feel dangerous, it feels harmless, comfortable, convenient, reasonable. Yet behind it lies delay. Behind it lies stagnation. Behind it lies lost opportunity. And there are opportunities ahead of you that require greater focus than before. Opportunities that require greater awareness. Opportunities that require stronger discipline. Opportunities that require a heart fully aligned with my direction. My beloved child, there is another truth you must understand. Every great miracle in Scripture was preceded by private obedience. Long before public victory came private faithfulness. Long before visible breakthrough came invisible consistency. Long before the lion's den came years of prayer. Long before the giant fell came years of preparation. Long before the walls collapsed came seasons of obedience. The public miracle was only the visible result. The private discipline was the hidden foundation. And that brings me to someone you know well. A man surrounded by temptation. A man surrounded by pressure. A man surrounded by distractions. Yet he remained faithful, not because he was perfect, but because he protected his daily rhythm with me. My beloved, In the next part, I will show you the secret that sustained Daniel long before he entered the lion's den. And once you understand what happened behind closed doors, you will begin to see why some people remain strong even when everything around them tries to pull them away. Because the miracle did not begin in the lion's den. It began years earlier, in quiet moments that nobody else saw. My beloved child, many people admire miracles. They celebrate breakthroughs. They marvel at extraordinary victories. They read stories of great faith and wonder how such things could happen. But what they often fail to understand is this: the miracle is usually the final chapter, not the first. The visible victory is often the result of countless invisible decisions made long before anyone noticed. And nowhere is this truth more clearly revealed than in the life of Daniel. My beloved, you know the story. You know about the lions. You know about the den. You know about the miraculous deliverance. You know how I protected him. You know how the mouths of the lions were shut. You know how he emerged unharmed. And because that miracle is so dramatic, most people focus their attention there. But I want to show you something deeper, something hidden, something far more important. The miracle did not begin in the lion's den. The miracle began years before, in private, in silence, in ordinary moments, moments nobody applauded, moments nobody celebrated, moments nobody even noticed. Because long before Daniel faced lions, he learned how to face distractions. Long before Daniel stood before kings, he learned how to kneel before me. Long before Daniel experienced public victory, he practiced private faithfulness. My beloved child, this is the secret many overlook. Great strength is rarely built during great battles. It is built before the battle arrives. Think about Daniel. He lived in a culture that constantly pressured him to compromise. A culture filled with distractions. A culture that encouraged him to adapt, to blend in, to lower his standards, to become like everyone else. Yet Daniel remained different, not because he was naturally stronger than everyone around him, not because he never faced temptation, not because he never experienced pressure, but because he established something within himself. A rhythm, a discipline, a habit of returning to me, day after day, month after month, year after year. My child, when people looked at Daniel, they saw wisdom, they saw favor, they saw strength, but they did not see what produced those things. They did not see the quiet prayers, the private surrender, the daily decisions, the unseen faithfulness. They saw the fruit, but they never saw the roots. And that is exactly what happens in many lives today. People admire outcomes while ignoring the process. They admire victories while avoiding preparation. They desire breakthrough while resisting consistency. But Daniel's story reveals a different path, a better path, a deeper path, the path of faithfulness. As it is written, Daniel continued praying 3 times a day, just as he had always done. Notice those words carefully, just as he had always done. Not occasionally, not when convenient, not only during crises, not only when he needed something, not only when life became difficult. He prayed because it was his rhythm, his foundation, his source. My beloved, this is why the decree against Daniel failed. This is why the pressure failed. This is why fear failed. This is why the lions failed. Because Daniel had built his life upon something stronger than circumstances, something stronger than emotions, something stronger than public opinion, something stronger than fear. He had built his life upon continual connection with me, and that connection became his stability. My child, many people mistakenly believe that strength is developed during emergencies, but emergencies merely reveal what has already been developed. The storm does not create roots, the storm reveals roots. The battle does not create faith, the battle reveals faith. The pressure does not create character, the pressure reveals character. And when Daniel entered the lion's den, the pressure revealed what had already been growing for years: trust, faithfulness, dependence upon me. That is why he remained steady, not because he was fearless, but because he was prepared. And perhaps this is something you need to hear today. Because recently you have been worried about future battles, future challenges, future uncertainties, future obstacles. You have wondered whether you are strong enough, whether you are prepared enough, whether you will be able to stand when difficult moments arrive. But my beloved child, you are asking the wrong question. The question is not whether you will be strong enough tomorrow. The question is whether you are staying close to me today, because tomorrow's strength is built through today's faithfulness. The lion's den was not Daniel's preparation. It was Daniel's opportunity to reveal his preparation. Do you see? That changes everything, because it means you do not need to fear the future. You only need to remain faithful in the present. Remain faithful today. Pray today. Listen today. Trust today. Obey today. And tomorrow will take care of itself. My beloved, there is another reason I want you to understand Daniel's story, because many people wrongly assume that faithfulness guarantees an easy life. It does not. Daniel remained faithful, yet he still faced opposition. Daniel remained obedient, yet he still faced danger. Daniel remained devoted, yet he still entered the lion's den. And that surprises many people. They think faithfulness should remove every challenge. But sometimes faithfulness leads directly into challenges. Not because I have abandoned you, but because I trust what I have built within you. Daniel did not enter the lion's den because he failed. He entered because he remained faithful. And my child, some of the difficulties you have faced were not evidence of failure either. Some of them were evidence of growth. Evidence that your roots were becoming stronger. Evidence that your faith was becoming deeper. Evidence that your dependence upon me was increasing. The enemy wanted you to interpret those moments as rejection, but they were preparation. The enemy wanted you to see them as setbacks, but they were strengthening seasons. The enemy wanted you to believe they were punishment, but they were refinement. And now, as you look back, you may begin to see it. The difficult seasons taught you things easy seasons never could. The waiting seasons deepened your trust. The uncertain seasons strengthened your faith. The painful seasons expanded your compassion. The lonely seasons increased your dependence upon me. Nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one prayer, not one struggle, not one lesson. I was using all of it, my beloved child. The reason Daniel's story still inspires people thousands of years later is not because of the lions. It is because of the faithfulness that came before the lions. The miracle was extraordinary, but the consistency was even more powerful. And that same principle is working in your life right now. Even if nobody sees it, even if nobody applauds it, even if nobody understands it, every prayer matters. Every act of obedience matters. Every decision to trust matters. Every moment of faithfulness matters, because those moments are building something stronger than you realize, something that will one day support the future I have prepared for you. And soon, very soon, I will show you another truth, a truth that many people underestimate, a truth hidden within ordinary choices. Because most destinies are not determined by giant decisions. They are determined by small things, small habits, small responses, small acts of obedience, small compromises, small moments repeated over time. Stay with me, my beloved, because in the next part I will reveal why the little things often decide the biggest outcomes. And once you understand this principle, you will begin to see your entire life differently. My beloved child, there is a truth hidden in plain sight, a truth so simple that many overlook it, yet it quietly shapes the direction of entire lives, entire families, entire generations. And the truth is this: big destinies are often decided by little things, not dramatic moments, not public victories, not extraordinary events, but small choices repeated consistently over time. My beloved, when people look at a great tree, they see its height. They admire its strength. They notice its beauty. But what they rarely see is the thousands of unseen days that made its growth possible. The small moments, the steady nourishment, the consistent development. Growth did not happen all at once. It happened gradually, quietly, day after day, and the same is true for every life. What you repeatedly do becomes who you eventually become. That is why small things matter far more than most people realize. Because every choice is moving you somewhere. Every thought, every response, every habit, every action, every delay, every act of obedience, every compromise, none of them are neutral. Each one is shaping the future. My beloved child, many people spend their lives waiting for a grand opportunity, a major breakthrough, a life-changing moment. And while they wait for something big, they ignore the small things standing right in front of them. But my kingdom often works differently. I watch how people handle small things first, not because the small things are insignificant, but because the small things reveal the heart. As it is written, whoever is faithful with very little will also be faithful with much. Luke 16:10. Notice what this means. Faithfulness does not suddenly appear when greater responsibility arrives. Faithfulness is developed beforehand. The person who manages a small responsibility with care will usually manage a larger responsibility with care. The person who ignores small responsibilities often struggles when greater opportunities arrive. Because character grows gradually, integrity grows gradually, wisdom grows gradually, trustworthiness grows gradually. My beloved, this principle explains much more than people realize. Many ask me for greater blessings, greater opportunities, greater influence, greater assignments, and yet they overlook the opportunities already placed in their hands. The conversations, the relationships, the daily responsibilities, the moments of obedience, the simple acts of faith, the ordinary opportunities to honor me. But those small moments matter deeply because they reveal readiness. Imagine a builder constructing a foundation. Every brick appears insignificant by itself, yet remove enough bricks and the structure weakens. Place enough bricks correctly and the structure becomes strong. Life works the same way. Your future is being built one brick at a time, not only through major decisions, but through daily choices. My beloved child, there are small acts of kindness that change destinies, small prayers that alter futures, small moments of courage that create opportunities, small decisions to forgive, small decisions to trust, small decisions to continue moving forward. These things may seem ordinary, yet heaven sees them differently because heaven sees where they lead. Many people want extraordinary results while ignoring ordinary faithfulness, but extraordinary results are usually the harvest of ordinary faithfulness. The harvest always appears larger than the seed. That is why the seed is often underestimated. My child, think about David before he faced Goliath. The world remembers the giant, but I remember the sheep, the private fields, the hidden seasons, the lonely responsibilities, the moments when nobody was watching. Before David stood before a nation, he faithfully cared for a flock. Before he carried a crown, he carried responsibility. Before he fought giants publicly, he learned faithfulness privately. Do you see? The giant did not create David's courage. The giant revealed it. And courage was built through countless small moments no one celebrated. The same is true for you. Many of the things happening in your life right now may seem small, perhaps even insignificant, perhaps repetitive, perhaps unnoticed. But do not underestimate them, because I am often preparing you through the very things you consider ordinary. My beloved, the enemy understands this principle as well. That is why he does not always attack through major temptations. Sometimes he simply encourages small compromises, a little bitterness, a little procrastination, a little dishonesty, a little distraction, a little neglect, because he knows something many people forget. Small compromises grow, just as small acts of faithfulness grow. Everything grows. The question is, what are you cultivating? What are you feeding? What are you strengthening? Because whatever you repeatedly nourish becomes stronger. That is why protecting your daily habits matters. Protecting your thoughts matters. Protecting your attention matters. Protecting your priorities matters. Not because I desire control over your life, but because I desire freedom for your life. The freedom that comes from alignment. The freedom that comes from wisdom. The freedom that comes from walking in purpose, my beloved child. I know there have been moments when you felt your progress was too slow. Moments when you questioned whether anything meaningful was happening. Moments when you wondered if your efforts mattered, but listen carefully. The deepest transformations often happen so gradually that they are invisible while they are occurring. Roots grow silently. Character grows silently. Wisdom grows silently. Faith grows silently. And then one day the fruit appears, suddenly, unexpectedly visible to everyone. Yet the fruit was never sudden. It was simply the visible result of an invisible process. That is exactly what is happening in your life. You may not see every change. You may not recognize every improvement. You may not understand every lesson, but growth is occurring. Preparation is occurring. Strength is being formed. Even now, even today, even while you are listening. My beloved, there is another truth hidden inside this principle. Most people believe destiny is decided by major moments. But often destiny is simply the accumulation of thousands of small decisions. A life is built one choice at a time. A marriage is strengthened one act of love at a time. A calling is fulfilled one act of obedience at a time. A future is shaped one day at a time. And because of this, you do not need to become overwhelmed by the future. You do not need to solve everything today. You do not need to carry tomorrow's burdens. You only need to be faithful today. Faithful in this moment. Faithful in this choice. Faithful in this step. Faithful in this season. Because today's faithfulness becomes tomorrow's strength. My beloved child, this is why I care about the little things. Not because they are little, but because they eventually become something much larger. And perhaps that is the twist you needed to hear. You have been looking for one giant breakthrough, one dramatic answer, one life-changing moment. But what if the breakthrough is already beginning? What if it is hidden inside the small decisions you are making right now? What if your future is already being shaped by choices that seem insignificant today? Because that is often how I work, quietly, gradually, faithfully, until one day what was hidden becomes visible. And then people call it a miracle. But I call it growth, my beloved, yet there is something else I must reveal. Because even faithful people sometimes find themselves facing the same struggle repeatedly, the same weakness, the same frustration, the same cycle, and many do not understand why. They pray, they try, they desire change, yet somehow they keep returning to the same battle. Stay with me. Because in the next part, I will reveal why you keep returning to the same struggle. And once you understand the answer, you will begin to see that the issue was never the fall itself. The issue was something far more subtle, something most people never recognize until much later.